Okay, so I have um I just kind of organized something I was going to put together based on what you told me about what you want to do after your retirement. Is that accurate, or is there anything else you want me to make
Pretty
time
much.
to talk to you
That's pretty much it. I don't know what's next.
about? Have you had your chart read before?
No.
Oh, okay, great. So, what I'm going to do is give you a little bit of an understanding of your birth chart and just some things about it. And then I want to talk about what's been going on in the sky that's impacting your birth chart. Those are called transits, and like some backdrop of some other things that are happening and then things that I think indicate um, where you can go with certain things going forward for your purpose. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay, because I want to give you some basic birth chart information that I think everybody should have. And I'm going to give you some dates. You don't have to write them down because I put them into a little document for you that I'll attach and send back to you.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a bunch of different dates about some things and maybe ask you about some dates and tell you about some dates that are coming up for making moves and doing stuff that would be helpful. Good windows of time, how long things are going to be in a place or not, like that.
All right.
Okay, so first thing I want to start with is just that you have what is called so all how we look at the birth chart, astrologers, people always need to know what's called their big three. That's your sun, your moon, and your rising. So the sun is what we all think of when we think of astrology. If you go, what sign are you? You know you're an Aries, right?
Mhm.
So that's basically this little X right here in the center is your head. And this is the snapshot of the sky that the moment that you were born. And the sun from vantage point Earth, where your little head was here, was in the constellation of Aries when you were born.
Okay.
The sun is like your vitality and your identity and your ego and your basically the warm light you shine into the world. It comes through in an Aries flavor. So I'll tell you some more about that as we go. Then the next thing that we do the sun, we do the moon, then we do the rising. And so then we have the moon here. Your moon is in Gemini. That is an air sign. Aries is a fire sign, which you probably knew. Gemini is an air sign. And so this is like how it tells you about your childhood, it tells you about your instinct, how you process emotion, and it can tell us about our relationship with our mothers. It can tell us about how we get our needs met, what kind of needs that we have, and ways to nurture and nourish those needs.
Okay.
So a Gemini moon, that's an air moon, and it's a very chatty moon. You don't seem like a super chatty person though to me, but it typically is one that processes through the process emotion through thinking and speaking and through like conversation. It gets really nourished like a Gemini moon gets my paper here. Gets really nourished by like novelty and diversity and change and being social and being able to ask a lot of questions and taking in a lot of information. So I don't know, I don't recognize you as someone really chatty, but that might just be the scene that I'm in, maybe when you're intimate or with other people and you're sharing your feelings, that they come through a little bit more through a thought frame than like a feeling frame.
Yeah, usually when I get to know people.
Yeah, then you do a lot more chattiness.
All right.
Yeah. So then your rising sign. So now you have fire, you have air, and now your rising sign. So this is the horizon, this thick back black line going through the middle. And the constellation that was on the horizon when you were born, 5:32 a.m., right?
Yeah.
April 4th, 68, Dayton, Ohio.
Yep.
Okay, I normally check that right away, but when we couldn't get the sound going, I think I just got a little bit off my gate there for a second. Okay,
Okay.
so Pisces is your rising sign. That is a water sign. It's deeply. intuitive, and sensitive. And it's quite spiritual. If you're a spiritual person, it can show up in that way. It's musical and mystical and very perceptive of the feelings of those that are around. It's very attuned. And that's something I just wanted, I feel, to start out talking right away because your rising sign is kind of the face that you give to the world, the immediate hit that you give to the world. And you also have two planets like squeezed up super tight against it. And that's your Venus and your Mercury. So, you were an EMT, right?
Yeah, retired paramedic.
Yeah. So retired paramedic, right? So there's like a way that you can read the room instantly, or when people are in crisis, you can be extremely soothing, calming, kind in your speech. It engenders trust in other people. It can give you like a really natural, like bedside manner. And so one of the things is like it's a deeply, deeply compassionate and service-oriented sign. So you have quite a bit in your chart that tells that you really like to be of service. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
So when you're not working to be of service, when you don't employ the depth of your compassion that's been needed in those jobs, it needs to be at really high volume, right? Like
yeah.
fully cranked up because you have also, it speaks to a lot about, have you had a lot of crisis in your life or been around a lot of crisis management?
Um, Mainly through the job, but yeah,
Yeah, this indicates through work. um, Intensity, transformation, life and death, sudden shock, eroticism, crisis, right? So your work has been largely connected to that, which puts a massive demand on someone with a very hyper attuned and sensitive system.
I think both those together kind of created PTSD.
Yes, yes. A lot of people do report that from those kind of jobs, right? From being around that high level of intensity and also being deeply feeling makes you very good at the job, but it also takes a toll on your body, mind, spirit complex. So the things that I've said so far, have those felt on track for how you experience yourself, or
Yeah, pretty much.
anything not feel right or need a little bit of adjustment?
No,
No? Okay.
no.
Okay. So then you have, if you can see this like right here, this is like a big choo-choo train, right? This is a concentration in your chart. If you see, everything is right here in what's called your first house. So you're very multifaceted in the way that you engage the world. And it starts in a Pisces flavor, but there's lots of planets in here that have the Aries signature, and then at the end here's your Mars and your Taurus signature. So this little choo-choo train right here of all these little Aries things, I want to talk about that. That's where your sun is and your identity is. And I'm wondering, did you have to grow up fast or be relied on early or have a strong sense of duty as a child?
I was an only child and pretty much had to figure things out myself. So,
Yeah.
I was either given a lot of freedom. If I screwed up, I was given
On your own.
a lot of strict, stern. It was kind of like that.
Yeah, so you have Saturn sitting right on top of your sun, which brings some restriction to that Aries energy. So you might hear things about Aries energy and be like, oh, I'm not totally Aries, because the Saturn brings a lot more carefulness to the Aries. It also can indicate that you had a strict father or a punitive father or an authoritarian father or um something
Yeah,
like that, or a workaholic father, or a father that worked a lot. So sometimes it can mean your father taught you, like gave you work ethic, taught you things, guided you, or it could be overbearing, punitive. I don't know which way that showed up for you.
Yeah, it was my stepdad mainly. So he was kind of a purist in the form, didn't really, like things to be too light, and
Uh-huh.
he was fairly stern, yeah, I'd say so.
And here's the thing is like, Pisces and Gemini, they're very lightweight. They love fun and whimsy and like fluidness and going with the flow. Aries is also, it's very childlike and can be very playful and fun. But if you put Saturn there, it can just put a dampening on that. That can be sometimes be external, and then sometimes that can be internalized, where it's like, I just don't feel like I can just like let go and play and have fun and not worry about the outlet, not worry about the consequence. Um,
Yeah.
Also, this here has a lot to do with you being in a hero archetype. Do you connect with that at all?
Hey, what now?
A hero, the hero archetype.
I'm not too sure what that is.
Just like someone who has to come in and like save the day or like take care of it when no one else can, or carries a lot of shoulders a lot of the burden
Maybe later in life, yeah.
later in life. Yeah. Okay. And that might be a hard mantle to set down in the next phase if that's a way that your art that your like ego, and not, I don't mean ego in a bad way, like always so egotistical, but just like the way you think about yourself, right? And like what you identify with, it can be really hard to set that down, because there could be some satisfying things that happen from that job is like you're really helping people or people were really in need and you showed up and you took care of them and that kind of thing. There's a lot of people who have this signature here are first responders and people who show up to the chaos and kind of organize it in some way. And
Yeah.
your identity then can get really like bound to your responsibility. And it can feel really hard to rest without guilt. You can go like, if I'm not needed, if I'm not providing a service, like who am I? Does any of
Yeah.
that land?
Yeah, it's pretty much like what I go through today, actually. I'm not physically and mentally capable anymore to do what I used to do, so it's rough for me. I still can't. There's a lot of conditioning that has been
Yeah,
thrown in over times, but yeah, I pretty much never feel comfortable.
now because you're not
It's now, and even when I was in the job, other guys could go to sleep and I'd be the one pacing the apparatus bay.
uh-huh. Like waiting for something to come in or just
Yeah, just this like kind of like that expectorant type, anxiety, like something's gonna anticipation,
mm-hmm.
something's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's
Wanted it
part
to.
bit of the PTSD that came with.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So we have this part of your chart here, and then I want to talk about this a little bit more, and then I want to talk about how I think all these things can fit together for something new for you. But I think first I just want to establish a little bit of like your character architecture that I'm interpreting from here to see if this is landing and fitting as we're going forward and to engage you, in the conversation. So in when you have the moon in Gemini, it's you experience typically the emotional core is that you experience safety through information. That, but it also can have a very alert nervous system, a very anxious and wired for sound kind of nervous system. And it can indicate with its placement here at the bottom of your chart that um, you might have had to have had mental vigilance as a child, or you had to make sense of your own feelings, or your emotions were processed through thinking, some of these kind of things. And it indicates that in your adult life, you are moving away from your family of origin and more into you doing you separate from how you were raised. Does
Yeah.
any of that land?
hmm Yeah, my emotions and things of that nature when I was young growing up were often um, discounted or you know I'm trying to find the word um,
Minimized?
minimized. Yeah, a lot of minimalization. So
Hmm.
I had to struggle with that a little bit.
Yep. And you were kind of left to navigate that on your own.
Right. So sometimes today when I feel an emotion, I don't know if it's correct or not.
I see. Right. Because that wasn't kind of reflected back to you. You didn't get to learn your own psychological understanding through the parenting.
Right.
Right. So are you on a bit of a self-discovery journey now?
Somewhat, but I have a lot of barriers um as far as trust and just various things. I'm not a very um open person at times. I'll divulge, just as much as I need to until, I have that trust, and I'm still skeptical at that point.
Mm-hmm. Did this take kind of a lot of courage to, or some bravery of someone to like let me look at your chart and talk to me like this?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel really honored. I greatly appreciate that. So, one of the things that you can think of in terms of how this mind can work for you is that it can help you compartmentalize things. It does allow your mind to work very quickly under stress and to keep things kind of like moving forward and to adapt and to adjust. So, I also think that in terms of like this area over here, this is where a lot of intensity lives for you, like in your workspace. And you have a gift for managing things that aren't calm, predictable, or emotionally neutral. But that can leave you in that space of not being able to fully relax. And like, is your system still feel like it's on call, even though, it's not anymore?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. So you're you'll need something, I imagine, to channel your energy into. Do you want to do like another job, or are you just looking for like what is your purpose?
I'm just looking for what is my purpose. I'm basically trying to find peace.
Okay, so can you see this? Like, obviously, you probably can, but this big red triangle that's right here.
Yeah.
Okay, it releases up into this area of your chart. And what that indicates is that you would be very, very good at Sagittarius things. So this is like searching for meaning, increasing your perspective, teaching, mentoring, wisdom sharing, pursuing big picture type things, travel. It doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be another career, but it can be like things that are opening, expanding your mind. And instead of being the actual responder and the one that people come to for crisis, instead it can be people coming to you for information, for wisdom. So this could be like teaching, formally or informally, storytelling, writing. This could also have to do with studying something. Is there anything that you're interested in studying?
There's lots of things I could study, but therein lies the discipline.
Ah, uh-huh. So is it hard for you to pick one thing to study?
Yeah, pretty much. Or I get easily bored with something.
And then you like dump it.
Yeah, may come back to it, but
Yeah. Well, a lot of stuff has happened right now on your in your chart. Like, I mean, I kind of want to tell you some of these dates just to see what lines up for you. Like, I don't know what your official retirement date but you had well, you're in a couple different really intense transits right now, and they're mostly Saturn, and what Saturn brings is limitation. So I don't know if you've been feeling limitation somehow. He brings lessons. He asks us to mature and to do some growing up, and it can feel pretty ouchy. But he just transited over, and he's like literally just finished crossing over your ascendant. He's been like doing this little dance. And so he was going over that. I have all these papers here. So the first cross he made was March 29th. And I don't know when you started to think about retiring, but he started cruising around through here and then he went over these couple of these planets here. When that happens, there's like an identity chapter is ending. We feel limits because of our bodies. We feel limits because of our age. He's talking to us about time. And it's like a new identity is being formed when he crosses over and he's asking you to come into your elderhood. So, into your sharing what it is that you have gleaned thus far in life.
Okay.
So, it can feel serious too. Have you felt a little more serious lately?
Yeah, this, pretty much lately. I'm still I'm still the funny guy when I need to be, but I think just like in the past uh, month or so, I've been a little bit more.
Yeah, so Saturn's been talking to a lot of stuff. He's coming down the pike to talk to everything, but he's also been in a really tense aspect with your moon. And, and I'm and Saturn's been going over like your relationships and how you make money and like are you in a relationship? Romantic?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
Did you break up recently
Yeah,
or?
it was a while back.
Yeah, so that could have been, I don't know that sometimes that happens when that happens there, but like when did he go over your Venus? Went over your Venus in April, right around your birthday actually. Did it ha something happen around then?
It was in summer.
In summer, okay. I don't
Yeah.
know for July, but I don't know if I have anything from this summer. But yeah, he's been hovering and scrubbing back and forth and just it's like there's this simplification that's wanting to happen, like a streamlining, cutting out anything that's like not useful. But also, you might be really feeling like thinking about time, thinking about what you've been doing with your time. Has anything like that been happening for you?
I mean, that's always been on the table.
Okay, so you just have such a strong Saturnine signature in that way in your chart. So it's like there's a lot of seriousness, but some of these other places are like where the fun lives and like creativity and joy and rest and um wondering how to balance some of those things in. Do you spend time doing anything creatively?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, for the most part, I play piano, but I I do other things as far as, I mean, silly crap like video gaming where you can be creative in
Mm-hmm.
in some of those sandbox kind of worlds.
Yeah.
Opens
Okay.
the mind a little bit to you can build and do things and
That's good. I think it's very important for you to be creative. You have this placement that you have here. Um, it's Neptune trining your ascendant and also these two planets here. It makes you extremely creative, and it would be very helpful for you to engage in music and making music, playing music, listening to music. Um, collaborating with other people around music. Music is, it can be a very deep way for you to move your feelings.
I'll tell you what my creativity is not.
What's that?
I mean, I was with a group of friends the other day, and we were gonna make stockings,
Mm.
and that wasn't my creative. I wrote my name on the top and put a few bells on it.
Yeah,
Called it
you're
a
not
day.
like a crafter.
No,
Yeah, yeah, no, you didn't want to be doing crafting. That's
no.
what I mean. I mean, what makes you feel that you can express largely this will have to do with your emotional body oftentimes too, like the way you can move your feelings. It's great to do that creatively.
Okay.
So, putting your feeling into your music, this is a big part that's happening for you, is like how to downgrade. Like not downgrade, like in terms of like, I mean, like if you're driving and you're on a gear shift and you're on like fourth gear, downshift to like some slower, gentler, more easeful. It could be a great time for you to do some healing work. Have you ever had
Mhm.
therapy before or
I've
been?
had it off and on, but it's kind of the point where, I'm trying to get back into it. When you retire, you have this Medicare issue that pops up. And so I was going to do a therapy thing called EMDR
Oh yeah.
that helps with PTSD, and
Hmm.
finally found somebody to do it. Thought I was going to, turn the key. There was an insurance issue, and then I have to wait till March to do it when my
Uh,
Medicare kicks in. So,
that is what you're talking about is so much Saturn shit. He just limits, delays, makes you wait. So you've been in this transit with him on your moon for a hot minute. It's
yeah, and
been
I don't have a lot of patience.
Yeah, because you're an Aries. You want to ride,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. So he's leaving you. In fact, to yesterday was his last exact hit. So he had a hit on April 10th, a hit on November 4th, and a hit on December 21st. And now he's moving away and he should be gone by January.
That explains December 21st.
What's that?
Nothing. I
What?
just said that explains December 21st.
Could you say that again?
I said that explains December 21st.
Oh, was it a rough day?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and I don't know if you look on your calendar and you go back, you might have had a rough day on April 10th and November 4th too.
Maybe.
Saturn just
Maybe.
he comes, he makes it hard. When it's on your moon, it's like emotionally hard. Um, it's you can feel lonely. You can feel like heaviness and um it can just be really challenging. Saturn and the moon don't like to talk. The moon is like the most sensitive, gentle part of your chart, and Saturn's like, you suck. Like, get it together. So I don't know if anything happened externally, if you had an issue with another person, whatever,
No,
but what's that?
no, no. It was just life in particular.
Life in particular, yes, it can just feel hard, but you're coming out the other side. And hopefully, this chapter gave you um, a little more sense of a way to like get serious about your own emotional state. So that might be like, oh yeah, I looked into therapy, but now I have to jump through these hoops and do systemic things and whatever, because that's also Saturn's been going backwards and he just started going forward. But also when he's moving on things, he just slows things down and you kind of have to think of it like this. If it didn't work then, for some reason, the alignment wasn't right. And you have to trust Saturn's timing because he's the keeper of time. And so he says, wait a minute, we got to tweak, we got to get it just right. Something wasn't right. That T wasn't crossed, that I wasn't dotted, whatever. And it might save you trouble down the line, but you have to deal with it right now. So that's the magic of how he works. He also brings like a sense of practicality. that could be really helpful too. And typically, after he's passed over your moon, you sometimes have a greater sense of emotional containment. Like you feel like you can parent yourself a little bit better. When Saturn talks to the moon, he asks you to become the parent that you never had. And you have to now provide that for yourself. So that's been a transit that you've been going through too. But I really think, like, if I didn't know that you played music, I would still ask you about this because of this placement. I think there's something very powerful about letting your letting your system have less stimulation and to get into the flow state. And that is more accessible through artistry, like, and your type of artistry lands in music. Neptune is the ruler of music and it's in conversation with Venus. This is an artist signature right here. And Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces is a musician. So this is all very musical. It's very poetic. It's very attuned to expressing and moving emotion and spirit through a creative outlet and expression. And that can be a great gift that's given to the world. So, music, I think, is a very important thing that you should be focusing on in doing something creative. And what Saturn asks us to do is to get a schedule. So it's like you put yourself on a schedule and you just play your music every day at 2 o'clock for an hour, whether you like it or not, whether you feel like it or not, because Saturn says, show up every day for the thing and then I reward you.
Hmm.
When he wants to give us this day our daily bread, right? I don't know if you know
It
that.
sounds kind of like a dick.
Saturn? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's rough. He's
Yeah.
rough, but he will reward you. You know, he helps you
Okay.
make things that endure. But he lives with you all the time. He sits on top of your sun. So I feel like you must know Saturn a lot. You must feel the Saturn energy pretty powerfully.
Okay.
You know, it makes you serious. It makes you committed. He asks you to commit. And there's something about taking all of this Piscean vibe, which you've quite a bit, and this Gemini vibe, those are mutable. Those are all over the place. They need to be pulled down into something. And Saturn's like, take that stuff and pull it down into something. Bring it here out of the realm of thought and feeling and curiosity and interest and intrigue and bring it down to earth into something practical. That's what Saturn's here for. He tries to help us ground it down into the earth. And he's talking to you all across the board. So he's asking you, and he says, what do you want your legacy to be? I want to help you make sure you get your legacy going. Do you have any interest in teaching or mentoring or?
Um, well, being an Aries, I'm not a very patient person.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to, train, mentor, in various things, and I haven't been, in my feeling, I haven't always been the most patient um, person doing that. I mean, I try to get the information across, but I think I get a little more wrapped up in, are they receiving the information? Are they taking it like you mentioned earlier, are they taking it seriously?
Yes.
And
So
that's where I have a struggle when I teach. I mean, I can, but it's just not everybody's receptive.
it doesn't light you up.
No, not not particular. No.
I do feel like it's a signature in your chart. So if you don't want to teach, it's like, do you want to, is there a way of teaching where they're not passing a test or something like that, where you're just imparting information or sharing
I could probably
mentor, or mentoring in a different kind of way where it's like, you might have to get a little bit jiggy with it. Like, I don't know, just something a little bit different, something more creative. It could be talking about your experience as an EMT, and that's, encouraging people to take care of themselves and to take care of their nervous systems and, or going into some of those settings and saying, hey, this is what's missing. This is what we need to do. I don't know if you ever wanted to do something like that, but
I could probably do that. That's a great idea.
okay, so that's what I think is being asked from you in this next stage. Especially, it's like this is like it pulls and it's like you have to shoot an arrow towards something and it's in this way. So I think what would be helpful is for you to do healing work on yourself, find your joy again.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm talking about finding your joy is because this down here is where your progressed moon is. It's a long story about what that means, but the thing is that you're here in this progressed moon space and you just landed in it. You haven't been here long. You've only been in here since November 9th, and you're going to be in this space for until March 25th of 2028.
Oh, okay.
So it's in the energy of Leo. And so Leo is all about the creativity. And it's in the fifth house of play, joy, expression, fun for the sake of fun. And you have Leo in its home house of the fifth house. And there's a while ago, so like you're finishing up a cycle. Like the last time you were where you are right now was September of 1998. I don't know what was going on for you back then.
Oh, yeah.
This is closing out. And the
Okay.
the ask of that time is similar now. But history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. So it's not going to look exactly like that, but it's something along those lines. You're bringing this something about that is closing out and something new is starting.
Okay.
So whatever was going on around that time can give you some information.
Yeah.
The window that it shares um is it was here from August of 98 to December of 2000. So whatever you
Mhm.
were doing in that period of time, this is a similar vibe.
Okay.
Again, repeats
I
it, repeats.
transitioned in that time from working for Kettering to working in West Chicago.
And what was the shift about?
That was just um, two different departments. I ended one and then went into the other.
What else was going on in that time?
Um, I got married to my second wife. We had a couple of dogs, just all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
Life was just a little bit more easy.
A little bit easier. Okay. This is actually a very easeful thing in your chart here that's offsetting some of this Saturn business. So this is very much about your own personal self-expression, your creativity, like it's kind of like when we the press progressed moon goes through Leo, we get to have like a little sparkle time. It's like we can feel ourselves a little bit more. We get to be out there. And in the fifth house, it's like I just kind of want to be sizzling a little bit more. I want to have more fun. I want to do what I enjoy. I want to express me more than like my family system. What is it like? What am I still like doing that doesn't work for me anymore? And I want to have fun and I want to play and be childlike. It's like you can return to things that you did when you were a child. Any of those things that you like to do, it's really great to go back to that.
Okay.
So you're
Well, I won't
wanting
be
to
playing
build
hockey.
capacity for joy. What's that?
Said I won't be playing hockey.
No, you won't be playing hockey,
No, that's not going to happen.
but maybe you would coach.
No,
No?
no.
So you liked what I started to say about consulting or what this Sagittarius energy, what it's supposed to do is pass its wisdom that it's gleaned from experience. So wherever that is what you're supposed to do.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, and that's what's being asked from you right now. And I think that's really, I think if you can get into your healing, get into your joy, and then start thinking about what did I learn that people could benefit from? That's what I have to share.
Could write a book called "What Not to Do While Working in EMS."
That'd be perfect. And it'd be great if it was like a little sarcastic because of
Oh,
like,
it would be.
yeah, it would be great for you to do something like that because you have a very quirky like humor and wit, and that's all of your Aquarius. I mean, your Uranian impact. And so it would be great to bring sort of that Gemini is like a natural comedian. Aries is a natural comedian, and you have that. They love to be together to bring wit and fun and like silliness. Even if you wrote that book just for yourself as a way to process your experience and to organize it and catalog it. And, maybe you could join like a writing group
Yeah.
that would have you get accountability if you're someone who needs accountability. But that is your purpose.
Okay. It's interesting to hear about all these things. I've never known about it, about astrology or anything like that.
Is it making sense, the things that I'm telling you? Is that landing?
Yeah, some of it's hitting, pretty on point.
Okay. Is there anything I said that didn't feel on?
No, not 100. There were just a few minor things that weren't 100% on, but
Well, sometimes it helps if you give me a little more information because then I can expand the archetype around the thing because I just kind of start with
right.
the general thing. And then as you're like, yes or no, then I'm like, oh, you're more like this or you're more like this with
Yeah.
that.
Like recently, one of the things I'm dealing with, and I have no idea where that's coming from. I mean, it's basically a situation where I've had to put both my stepdad and my mom in a nursing home. And, I visit my mom like every week and I visit my dad and his memory's declining. He can't think of words to say. And so that's kind of a thing that brings me down a little bit too. Um,
Hmm.
remembering how they used to be and how they are now,
Yes.
wondering how much more time I get with them.
That is sometimes what can happen with the Saturn transit on the moon because of where your moon is sitting down here, that you just have to take on more responsibility with your parents, and even the roles can reverse where you feel parental to them.
Yeah.
And so that's a very possible thing about what this transit has meant for you too. And you just recently put them in.
Yeah, it was I had to put my dad in August
Hmm.
or July or August. No, June. I'm sorry.
June.
And my mom um in September.
Hmm.
So it's been rough.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, that's just really, really challenging. And it also, I think, can give us a sense feeling our own mortality when we see our parents like that it's like, oh my God, I'm to this age where like I could be losing my parents. Like that's a real paradigm shift. And it makes us think about what are we doing and how long do we have?
Yeah, I'm not really I mean, I'm actually kind of glad most of my life's behind me than it is ahead of me. Be honest with you. I don't feel bad about that at all. It's just the thing that really gets me is just remembering how how my parents used to be, how independent and how strong and how, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just because in my career it's just sad to, see people at their end of their lives and,
Yeah.
knowing that they were somebody who did all these other things in their lives and all that, recognizing their life as who they were rather than
Mhm.
just another patient, or
Yeah.
another person's, house or problems we gotta, or whatever situation or car accident or, whatever it be, people's situations that we gotta figure out. But, I don't know. I kind of classify it as is that, I'm not too worried about myself.
Hmm.
Uh,
You don't feel any sense of loss around your youth or things you used to be able to do that you can't do now or anything like that?
well, physically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just those things happen kind of simultaneously. That's how these combinations work, you know? And what you're speaking to is like really the way that you saw the patients that you had as you saw them as real people too, not just like a job or a crisis. And that speaks to this Piscean energy where if I understood what you were saying correctly, like that went into your heart and impacted you more fully than, oh, we just got to go to this house and get this person. It's like you're seeing the whole person and it took its toll on you.
I mean, yeah, there were moments where I just looked at it like, oh, great. I mean,
Mhm.
everybody's like that, I'm sure, but
Sure.
you know, see people who see people for who they are
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or who they were
Yeah.
rather than what they say or what they do.
Yeah. You can see through those things.
I can directly see through people that are talking, just talking to say the things I want to hear.
Right. Right. Well, this is part of this connection too of Pluto to your moon. It makes you very sensitive. To the emotional climate of those around you. And that you probably felt that a lot as a child. Like if your parents, particularly probably your mom, wasn't saying anything, you could still feel what was going on.
Oh yeah.
You might have felt stuff a lot that wasn't being expressed. And so you had to make sense of it on your own because what they're presenting is something different than what you felt.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of very intuitive signatures. And I don't know if you how you feel about intuition or anything like that, you know. This placement also up here is an astrologer.
Hmm.
You might like to, even if you don't want to become a professional astrologer, you might be interested in astrology and just looking at it and learning your own astrology as a self-study
Yeah.
and understanding your own chart and understanding what's happening in the sky. This would very much be that placement.
Yeah. I might be interested a little bit in doing some pastoral work, but through
Oh,
apartments and things like that.
yes. That would be amazing. This would be incredible for you.
I look at it as a way to because a lot of people look at critical in the field look at critical incident stress debriefing as weakness.
Hmm.
But if you become a pastor, I think that's a backdoor to get in
Oh
to
my God, that would be incredible for you. This is also pastor.
yeah, I think that's a backdoor to get in to talk about the elephant in the room.
I love this idea for you. And you got to be a little bit of a disruptor, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's this placement onto here. So it would be great if you shook it up. I love this idea for you.
we just came up with it just now.
I think that is what you actually need to do. This is called the priest archetype. It's an archetype though, so pastor or pastoral care fits into there. And this is this signature here and this signature here has a lot to do with like death, end of life, um, all of those kind of things as well, if you're interested in that realm.
Hmm. Okay.
And if you're inclined spiritually or whatever at all, Pisces mixed with Sagittarius is very deeply spiritual.
All right.
Oh my God, I think that would be really amazing.
Be the next move.
I think this would fit your astrology so beautifully. I mean, that's why I like to have the conversation because I'm like, there are a lot of archetypes. There are a lot of ways this thing could show up. What am I saying that's lighting you up? And we can follow down those tracks. And then here we go, here we go. But that would be incredible.
I think it would.
Yes. And to work, if you're working, are you talking about working with people also too that are kind of like at the end of they're gonna die?
I could. Yeah.
Because I think it would also be great for you to have access to things where you get to be like quiet with people and be
Yeah.
like gently with them, peacefully with them a little bit more than like running into a crisis kind of, even though end of life can be tense, it also there's also a quietness that needs to be ushered in, right?
Right. Well, there's
So,
a lot of it's a web of dealing with family members, and I'm
mhm.
sure, but
Oh, I love this for you so hard.
yeah, not rushing in to try to fix it,
Right.
rushing in to try to accept it,
There you
or
go.
maybe man, meandering in trying to accept
Right, exactly. That's your new pace you need to be working on. And having it be slower and what you're doing is slower, gentler, more connected to like higher love, higher wisdom, higher, all the higher faculties, less in the dirt,
it. Yeah,
in the trenches is what I meant. Yeah.
yeah, the chances are over, thank God.
Yeah. Yes. I love this. I think it's great. So by the time it's let's see, moving into the sixth house. So in March of 2027, you'll be moving into this area of your chart.
Okay,
And so I think this is a great time for you to it'll to bring a new breath of creative, fresh air into whatever you're going to do with this next phase of your work. If you want to go and do work, you could also volunteer if you don't want to make money, or you could do a part-time. But
somebody tried to offer me a job today, and I said, "Look,
hmm.
yeah." I was very polite about it, and like, yeah, I don't know anything about how much I'm allowed to make yet, and
Yeah,
uh,
you're in a waiting zone till you get all your information. Saturn's going to make sure you cross your T's and dot your I's. But I love this pathway that you're talking about going.
yeah, and I
Anything.
think the as far as I think it's already been in motion with some of the people that I've dealt with at my church, and so
I
I
love it.
think it's already been kind of going. I just didn't find a direction for it.
And now you're feeling like there's some direction.
There's possibilities, which and there could be unlimited directions.
Yep. Great. Is there anything else I could do for
No,
you?
oh, this was great.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share this with you. I
Thank you.
will make this a recording. I put it on a YouTube link, but it is unlisted.
Okay.
And so I'll send you an email probably tomorrow. I have people are in a lot of crisis right now on holiday, so I'm just kind of let them
Yeah.
day. Um,
Holiday.
yeah, so tomorrow, if I don't get it done today, then I will do it for sure for you tomorrow and send it out and give you a little summary of our talk and put the dates on there for you.
Okay.
Look through. I didn't mention all the dates because The time always goes really fast, but I'll put them on there for you and you can kind of just like look around. And then if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you for your flexibility today. I appreciate that.
Oh, no problem.
It's great
You
to
have a great day.
stay in touch. Okay.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye.